a sun, the fields are alive, cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the hardly hear. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, it is time for the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FHSFootball.com and the channel. I see Hendry is already in the chat here as we roll into this one here. And appreciate everybody joining us here as we roll into week number 11. Coach, it's hard to believe. Where did the season go? It's already 11 weeks. And, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out where everything has gone because
flew by. I felt like we were just in preseason a couple weeks ago.
I know. And it says yes. And appreciate everybody that's joining us here. Glad to see y'all on here. Good to see. I'm going to bring it up here on the chat side of the comments here so that way I can see it because on the screen. Mark Cannon's here. Nully's here. Stephen Thatchy's 2 for 2 tonight. So I'm glad that you're on the show, watching the shows tonight here. Appreciate everybody. If you're new watching, get on that YouTube channel at Florida HS Football. Hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell. We definitely appreciate everybody that has been joining us here on the shows here during the regular season, and we're getting ready for postseason here, postseason play with the SSAA here, SSAA starting this week. And as I do every day, every show we do it, every show here. Yeah, and yes, if you're all wondering where Chris is at, Chris will be back tomorrow night. Chris has had a schedule conflict and could not be on the shows tonight. But I got Coach Rob Ron here. He's going to be coming in on our shows here now from going forward and jumping in and out. And definitely appreciate it because, hey, Coach has got some good little nuggets that he can throw out at us, especially from the side of coaching, the perspective of coaching, because he has seen it all across different programs where he has been at. And with that said, let's get into the Blitz lines. Let's look back at what was week number 10 from last week. And looking back on this here, I'll make sure that I did print out the right stuff. Yes, I did. I did print out the right thing here. And gosh, Carrollwood Day took care of community school. No issue there. Definitely a good showing there by Carrollwood Day. Carrollwood Day, it's just they're pretty good. I think no matter who they seem to go up against, they take care of business. Did I have it right here? Because I'm making sure that I printed out the right thing here. Because making sure. Didn't I print out? No, this is last week. This is the week before that. What happened here? Why did my sheet fool me here? Did I not have the right sheet here? This was the week before that. I don't know why. Excuse me. Anyways, let me pull up the right one here because apparently I guess my week 10 didn't, for some reason, when I pulled over the week 10 pick six, I didn't print out the right one. There we go. That's right. There we go. I'll print it out here for the rest of the shows. But Yeah, for some reason I printed out the wrong one. But anyways, pick 10 week says Cardinal Newman, Bishop Verot. Going back, let's go. We'll get the right ones here. Cardinal Newman, Bishop Verot. That one, actually, I believe they ended up making up Monday. They had a transformer blow in that game Friday night. And from what I saw that has been posted, the Cardinal Newman was given a 27-0 win. And yes, Carrollwood Day, Meet Mare Island. That's on me. That's on me, Mark. The wrong sheet apparently printed out when I went to click print because when I got everything set up and pulled up all the documents, apparently I was looking at week 9, not week 10. That's on me. That's on me. That's on me. Yeah. Anyways, looking at the games here, this one to Northeast and Southeast. Well, Southeast, Southeast gets the win, but as we talked about in the Drive the State show, real quick, and talking about that real quick, well, for Southeast, it was you win, but you're not making the playoffs. So, I mean, that's you win because you lost to North. You win, but you lost to Northeast, and Osceola, and you lose in Osceola. Well, that's keeping you out of the playoffs because Osceola wins the tiebreaker there, and Osceola is headed out to the playoffs, and Southeast will most likely be sitting at home. All right, North Fort Myers, Riverdale. Well, Riverdale takes care of business easily. Mockley wins their 3rd consecutive straight district championship over Gulf Coast, and Mockley now 7-2 on the season. South Fort Myers. South Fort Myers 7-2 took care of business against Dunbar. I'm impressed with South Fort Myers. They've gotten wins over Naples and over Dunbar, and most likely should have had a win over Port Charlotte. I mean, that they probably would have won that district. And South Fort Myers has definitely been a good surprise this year. And Naples, they almost about got Port Charlotte. Wow. I'm just sitting here fun looking at this, and I'm just like, wow, okay, Port Charlotte almost went down. I mean, and then I know Emory, UFO is switching your documents around. So Emory has to bring up the UFO. Well, there you go. The UFO has showed up to the show, so there you go. You know, and Emory, you're right. Yeah, South Fort Myers probably should be ranked ahead of Naples, but let's see what the final rankings bring us and see if that happens to be the case here. Coming up here in the interview, we'll have Evan LePak joining us here on the show here from the Venice Gondolier and talk some Venice football coming up here around 7:40-ish. Looking at the thing, and I see Evan starting to jump on right now, so we'll get him on here in just a couple minutes here. But then, looking at that 4A District 12, that district, that region, Class 4A, may not be 4 teams going from that region this year. Dunbar, again, sitting on the outside at 6-3. We'll have to see what happens here. But Emery's giving me the laughing emoji. He laughing because I played that UFO there. So yeah, no, absolutely here. But again, looking at this, of course, Venice won their, I don't know how many district championships Venice has got now. Evan probably has that number for us because I know, again, it's another district championship for the Indians, and we're going to talk about that coming up here in a moment here. With that said,
a formality at this point.
Yeah, it was a formality from the start of the season. It was just like, okay, are they finally going to, it's like, okay, car's in first gear, but can we get the second gear? And now it seems like Venice has gone from second to fourth gear. So we'll have to see and talk about that with Evan LePak here coming up here in just a couple minutes here. But first, we're going to take a break. Oh, let me get on the right button here because I've got so many sound effects. We got to take a 2-minute timeout here, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to Evan LePak from the Venice Gondolier here about Venice football and everything that's connected with Southwest Florida football. That will be Venice's path going through the playoffs and all that. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes here on the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, welcome back here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FortHSFootball.com and the FortHSFootball.com social media handles. And finally glad to get this person on because he's seen the ins and outs of this Venice Indian football team all season. And we tried to get him on earlier, but his schedule's been hectic because also we know that Venice volleyball, as good as they are too, they're in one of those other sports teams that are just as good. And that is Evan LePak from the Venice Gondolier. And Evan, I mean, gosh, Venice this year is not the Venice of last year, obviously, because we've seen, that struggle, but it seems like the car couldn't get out of first gear for a few weeks. And now it seems like they've shifted from first to second.
Okay.
Yeah. Shifted from first, second to all the fourth, or maybe they put it in overdrive and now they're in fifth gear, it seems like. But what have we learned about this Venice team, through now 10 weeks here? I mean, considering that, one game against Miami Northwestern never got played. This team is just now finally starting to fire on all cylinders.
Yeah. To begin with, it was, you go back to the spring game, even against Naples, they were down 20-0 at halftime. I know a lot changes between the spring and the fall, but even then everybody was kind of like, whoa, what's going on with Venice here? This is not what we'd expect. But then they come back and end up winning that game anyway. But I don't know. The fall was interesting. They played Gadsden County really, really well in the kickoff classic, beat them up. But as we've seen, Gadsden County is not as good with everything that they had to deal with, the turmoil there. In the Tampa Bay Tech game, their first regular season opener, I should say. That was an eye-opener, to say the least. Nobody was expecting the type of performance out of the 7A state champions that they put out there on the field. Only scoring 7 points on offense, they barely mustered 100 yards of total offense on that day. And the defense did what they could, but Tampa Bay Tech was just better that day. And I think, it didn't help that they didn't have Tyree Mannings Jr. Due to suspension that first game. And the identity on offense they're trying to figure out, and they couldn't quite get it. And that lasted for the first half of the season. The two quarterbacks that they had battling it out in the summer, Alex Schaefer and Sean Long, no longer there. They both ended up leaving. Darion Jones ends up transferring in little less than halfway through the season. As we know, he was at Tampa Bay Tech, went to Chaminade Madonna for a little bit, and then transferred to Venice. And he's been the guy. Him and Sean Long kind of played together a little bit in the middle of the season, but Sean Long left. Darion Jones has been the guy the past 4 games, and you can see the difference in the offense. They've really put it together, spearheaded by a fantastic talent at wide receiver in Tyree Mannings Jr., only a sophomore, Booker transfer, put up great numbers as a freshman last year, and he's doing even better things this year as a sophomore for Venice. Went over 1,000 yards in just 8 regular season games against Sarasota on Friday. 8 touchdowns, got 65 catches. He's averaging obviously over 100 yards per game receiving. He's ridiculous, and they use him in every way they possibly can, whether it's wide out, special teams. They even lined him up as a running back against Clearwater Central Catholic in that win a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, that's been the biggest thing. The offense figuring out what they have to do, figuring out an identity, just coming together. I think that's been the biggest reason they've won 4 or 5 since starting the season 2-2. 2-2.
And when we look at this with Venice, and we what has it been like? How do you think John Peacock has handled this in terms of directing this team at through this patch? Because obviously you start 2-2, and all of a sudden here you are on the run. You take care of Riverview, take care of everybody in the district. I mean, how do you think that Coach Peacock has made these adjustments? Considering, hey, we want to be back playing. We want to be back playing on the 7A state championship come December.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they've been to the state championship, at least making an appearance 4 straight years. It doesn't matter the personnel they have, the players they have, at the injuries they have. At the end of the day, Venice's football coaching staff in general, I would put them up against anyone in the state and really a lot in the country. They've been together for many years. And they know the ins and outs, and they know what it takes to win and to develop, and they do the same thing every single year. And like I said, it does not matter how they start a season. By the end of it, they're going to be competing against anybody, and that's just the way it is. I've seen that 3 straight years. I've questioned the team 3 straight years at times, especially early on in the season. But every single year, they have them ready to go, and somehow it doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter what they have. Who they lost, what's going on, they're going to put themselves in a position to compete for a state title. And I don't necessarily see that being a big difference this year. I will say teams like Vero Beach, DeLand seem to be extremely good. So if you look at Venice's region, they should breeze through it. I'm not trying to jinx them or anything.
Let me pull that up here on the screen here as we talk about that with the latest with the last regular season rankings that are going to come out from the FHA before the playoff brackets here. And I mean, there you go. It's I mean, obviously Venice. I mean, are you kind of stunned when you saw that that there was a change, that Ridge community ended up beating Winter Haven, considering that Winter Haven seemed to have been doing really well up until this point last week?
Yeah, Winter Haven's schedule hasn't been fantastic. I'll be honest, but Ridge beating Winter Haven is an upset, but it doesn't necessarily shock me. Well, if you look at this region in general, if you look at Venice's strength of schedule and you look at every other team's strength of schedule in this bracket, it doesn't hold a candle to what the Indians have played and who they've competed against and what they've seen. So they're not going to be intimidated. They're not going to be scared of anyone. They're going to be extremely confident, and they're going to expect to go into this region as the clear-cut favorite. I mean, you look at Riverview at the 2 seed, and they wiped the floor of them a few weeks ago. So if you consider all of that, they are the clear-cut favorite to win this region. And I don't think anybody can argue that. It'll depend. I mean, they might not be the 1 seed. I know Riverview is pretty close. Venice doesn't have a game next Friday. Riverview plays Manatee. They beat Manatee, they could jump them, and Venice could be the 2 seed. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. If you're going to go play Riverview in the regional final at Riverview, I don't see much of a difference as far as an outcome. But we'll see.
But I mean, the anticipation of it for that be a rematch in the regional final, that'll draw a huge crowd, regardless if it's at Powell Davis or if it's at Riverview.
I agree. I've been to Riverview and I've been to Venice, obviously, a bunch of times. I really enjoy Riverview's stadium and the potential environment that can be created there. So I think either stadium is going to be a fantastic showing. Yeah, obviously, if that ends up happening, Riverview is going to be extra motivated to pull off an upset there, to prove that they're better than what they showed in the regular season against Venice. I mean, it was a close game early on in the first quarter, but then Venice kind of did their thing from there. It just depends. To me, it seems like, I mean, Venice is probably going to be even better at that point. I think they'll be fully healthy. They'll know exactly what they need to do to beat Riverview. The game plan will be put in place. It's outside of a lot of mistakes from Venice. I don't see them losing to Riverview again. Maybe I'm giving Riverview bulletin board material right now.
I guess, and Coach, I'll bring Coach into this question here, because with this as well, because here's the thing: is that, do you think the extra the extra week off will help a lot of the teams, or could this hinder some teams when you're not out on the field, being able to beat up on somebody for 2 weeks straight? Oh, did you get that? Y'all there?
I'm here. I was letting him take it. I'll follow it up.
I'll let Evan take that one. Evan, you think this will help Venice in being off, being able to get healthy, having that extra bye week now that okay, they're off this week and then be off next week, or do you feel like that could be a disadvantage to them at some point?
I don't see it being a disadvantage. This was actually supposed to be their bye week to begin with. I think this was John Peacock's strategy. He wanted 2 weeks off in general.
Okay.
Because obviously they didn't play Miami Northwestern, so they would have had 10 games. This was originally their bye week. So yeah, I think they're excited about it, just to be able to reset a little bit, get healthy. They have a few key starters that need to get healthy that they hope to get back in the coming weeks. So that's something they're focused on. I think this is going to be nothing but good for them. I mean, it's not like if they're the 1 or 2 seed, they're going to play the 8 or the 7 seed at home. Even if they get off to a slow start, they will probably win that game pretty handily. So I don't see it being an issue. I could be wrong, but motivation and focus and having his team in the right mindset has never been an issue for him or this coaching staff. So I don't see that being an issue at all.
It's a subjective thing. I mean, it ultimately comes down to your personnel and timing. I mean, so if you're in an instance where you need some rest, you need some guys to maybe get healthy, you got some tight hamstrings late in the season, a ankle twist in practice on a Monday, but you got that extra week. Those things are subjective, but the timing of it could also be the other direction for some teams that might have that scenario happen. And it's, man, if you're riding a 4-game win streak and you're just running through teams, you want that momentum to keep up. And then all of a sudden you got a week off like this, that, storms coming through, things could get shaky this week if there's any storms rolling through. I know there's that front coming from the plains coming through that might bring some rain later in the week. So, I mean, it's things like that kind of you hang your head on a little bit as a coach, because you're riding that momentum. But to his point, I mean, that's a program that they could have 3 weeks off and they'll be fine. It's one of those things that round 1, round 2, it's almost always at Venice. It's almost always a win. They're always going to be ready to go. And then round 3, I'm not throwing shade at those round 1, round 2 opponents, but historically speaking, we don't really start looking for Venice on the bracket till we get to week 3 of the playoffs.
That's fair. That's fair enough. That's fair enough in that sense here. And I want to bring up some news here that just came out yesterday, and that is the new school that is about to open up between Venice and Northport, which is Welland Park. And Sasha Heyer, who is going to be the head coach, who's been the defensive line coach for the Indians. That's a huge loss there for the Indians coaching staff after once the season concludes. That's a huge loss. Talk about that there, because now John Peacock's got to go find a new defensive line coach.
Yeah, actually, Sasha hasn't been coaching the defensive line this year. He coached from 2011 to last year, 2024. They have a new defensive line coach this year, but they haven't missed a beat, as you could tell. Shari Charles has been tearing it up. So, he's still at Venice as a faculty member. He's still the head coach of the girls' weightlifting team there.
Okay.
But just based off of him needing to do so much as far as like logistics of putting together a new program, equipment, going and checking out other schools, locker rooms, things of that nature. Apparently, Aubrey Rogers, a school down in Naples, is basically the sister school to this Welland Park. Like, they have the same layout and everything. So he went down there and talked to the AD, talked to the head coach to kind of pick their brains about a brand new school, a brand new program, and all of that. So he's really excited about it. Obviously, he knows what it takes to win. He's very familiar with a good blueprint of what a good football program looks like, and I do a good job there. But yeah, it's definitely a unique situation to be the first head coach at a brand new program.
No, absolutely, and I know that's going to impact more Northport and their enrollment than probably terms of Venice and their numbers. But with that said, Evan, one of our followers, Emery Smith, he mentioned that you got Patrick Obley. Y'all have this upon further review podcast that goes up on the Daily Sun. Talk a little bit more about that, what y'all do, and kind of tell people where to find y'all out with the coverage that y'all do with the Venice Gondolier and obviously the Daily Sun as well.
Yeah. We got Charles Bellaro, Twitter at Charles Bellaro, Chuck Bellaro. He's the sports writer for the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun covers schools, Babcock Christian, Northport, Lemon Bay, Port Charlotte, schools down in that area, Northport as well. And then they cover Venice, but I'm mainly the Venice guy. So I'm eat, sleep, and breathe Venice sports. That's me. Yeah, we do a weekly podcast just discussing the football teams, those specific football teams. We go over each game from that Friday, and then we kind of preview the next upcoming game that week. We have a good time. Patrick Obley's been in this business for a long time, so is Chuck Bellaro. Pat's one of the best around. Great boss, really fantastic writer. And yeah, collectively, I think we do a pretty good job. We like to joke around a lot on that podcast, and it can get out of hand sometimes. But yeah, it's good, and you can find that on sunpreps.com specifically is where you can find all of our content as far as articles and such. You can also find the podcast there. And as far as the podcast itself goes, you could find it anywhere you find any of your podcasts, whether it be Spotify, Apple Music, anything of that nature. So yeah.
No, and absolutely. And real quick, tell everybody where to find you on X, because I know you do a lot of tweeting there on Friday nights. And if you want to find coverage of Venice, that's where they go find it at.
For sure, yeah. It's at Evan MP LePak. Yeah, that's where you'll find all of my Venice tweets and such, stories, things of that nature. I'll have features, previews, game stories, news in general when it comes to their postseason run that's about to unfold here.
No, absolutely. And Evan, definitely appreciate you taking a few minutes of your time, and we'll definitely be, looking forward to seeing what Venice does here in the postseason. And depending on what happens with Venice during the postseason, we might have to bring you back on and talk more about it, depending on what happens. But definitely appreciate you taking the time here and being able to talk again about the Venice and their upcoming role again for the postseason as well. So take care, and we'll see you soon.
Most definitely. Thanks, guys.
All right. You're welcome. All right. That was Evan LePak from the Venice Gondolier joining us here on the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz. And Coach, I got to tell you, I mean, if everybody knows, a lot of people, if you're not a Venice fan, you're probably not liking Venice.
No, it's one of those teams. It's like an Alabama or the Lakers. It's like, you don't like them. Or the Patriots, Tom Brady and Belichick. It's just John Peacock has a damning way of how he does things, and he wins. I mean, I don't, you hate him because you don't beat him, and that's just the truth of it. And so, I would be, let's let the brackets come out, in a couple weeks, but it would shock me if Venice isn't sitting in the 7A state championship game again. Not 7A, but if they're not sitting in the state championship game again, that would shock me.
Absolutely. Anyways, we got to take a quick break here, 2-minute timeout, and then we'll be back, and it'll be time for the pick six and the wrap the show up here on the Southwest edition of the Blitz. We'll be right back right after this.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, it's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, welcome back here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloydHSFootball.com and the FloydHSFootball.com social media handles. And Coach, boy, it's hard to believe I'm saying week 11. Again, we were talking about it earlier. It seems like the season just started yesterday. And with that said here, everybody, with that said, it is time for the Pick Six. I don't have the graphics this week because of everything with all the tech stuff that had happened. So you're just going to have to bear with me. The forecast is not even ready. That'll be ready tomorrow morning for the forecast. So we're going to kind of roll with it. I apologize again. Just trying to do my best here to make sure that the show's got off on time this week. And with that said, I do have the picks. We do have the games that we're going to have. I have Chris's pick and I have Reno's pick for this show. And Coach will throw his pick out as well because we'll have Coach throw in his picks as well. With that said, Coach, the first game I've got up on the docket is Fort Myers, who's 3-6 at Dunbar 6-3. And I put this game on here for a big reason. I feel like it's more for Fort Myers to keep Dunbar totally out of the playoffs versus Dunbar needing this game to get in the playoffs.
Right.
So I will tell you right now, guys, I believe the forecast would be in favor of Dunbar. Chris and Reno are both taking Dunbar. Coach, who would you take in this?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'd lean Dunbar. Home game. I think that they know what they have to do. It's a chalk it up game for them. And to your point, like I said, it's.
I'm going to take Dunbar as well, but I feel like, you know what, if Fort Myers wins, that ends Dunbar's season totally right there. Yeah. And I think Fort Myers might have a chance to win, but
no, for sure. It's a tricky game. The record really doesn't indicate it for Fort Myers, the team they have. I mean, they're going to put up a fight, but Dunbar knows what's at stake. I don't see them laying it up.
Absolutely. Up next is Spruce Creek 7-1 at Gulf Coast 5-4. And again, just I was trying to put some games on here to add some decency. And Spruce Creek, I got to tell you, this might be a road trip for them, but Spruce Creek, I think, has been more of a team that has been able to flex better than what Gulf Coast has done this year. And my leans towards the Hawks here, but Chris and Reno, both of them are going Spruce Creek on this one.
Oh, man. Just to shake it up. And I'm gonna, and I had, and you know my reasoning for why the Spruce Creek Regional. I need a certain team to bounce up in that region because I feel like they're getting a little canned a little bit there. So I'm going to take Gulf Coast. I think that's a long road trip for Spruce Creek, and I think Gulf Coast is ready. Coming on a little bit stronger as of late. Offense is putting up really good numbers. I think Spruce Creek can get a surprise this week against a good Gulf Coast team.
I agree, Coach, on that one there. And with that said here, and looking at this one here as we roll along here, I'm going to roll Spruce Creek on that one. We've got Riverview, Sarasota 7-1-1 at Manatee 4-5, and I can tell you right now, Chris is going Manatee, Reno's going Riverview. This is a roll the dice game because what Manatee team do we get this week, and again, what do we get from Riverview?
Yeah, I'm gonna take. Give me Manatee in that one.
Well, I'm gonna take Riverview. My problem with Riverview, my problem with Manatee is I just don't know what kind of team Manatee's going to bring me. But I feel like Riverview's been more consistent along the line this season. But as I'm seeing here in the chat is kind of split here. So again, it's one of those coin flip games. This is a lot of rivalry game week, by the way, for a lot of teams here too as well. So going into to this game here, this is an SSAA 11-man state championship bracket first round game. It is Sefner Christian 7-3 at Out of Door 7-2 in the South bracket, and ODA they both played. I believe had played each other already this season, so this is a rematch from the regular season. And I can tell you, Chris and Reno are going with ODA for their picks this week.
Yep, same here. Yep.
I just think ODA is a slightly better than Sefner Christian, and I'm going to take that with that on for Out of Door here. Couple other big games that we got here. Sanford Seminole making the road trip to Booker. Seminole 5-4, Booker 8-1. I can tell you this: Chris and Reno are taking Booker on their picks, and boy, this is Seminole jumped up to the 6th spot this week in that 7A Region 1 bracket. The question is can they hold it? Winner with a loss here. That's my big question here. Can they hold it with a loss?
I'm gonna another surprise here is someone I saw Seminole fairly recently when they took that trip to Lake Mary. I defensively they're looking stronger. I mean they had that Lake Mary game really in the palm of their hands. The quarterback doesn't go down late on that last drive. Who knows what happens at the end of that game. So the offense has good pieces to move it. But the defense was really what kind of stood out to me in that Lake Mary game. I think this is a game that they can go get. I see where you're going. I see where the picks are going. I would take Seminole. I would take Seminole, and I know it's a shock, but I think they're similar to something we just talked about. They kind of know what's at stake. They could easily drop. They've got the losses to drop for sure, but knowing kind of where they're sitting, they could move up too. So just go and get the job time for them, and that's a program that historically this time of the season gets it done. So we'll see. But Seminole's my pick.
Yeah, Seminole. I'm going Booker, and real quick, we'll do a quick pick on this one. It's Lele 6-3 at South Fort Myers 7-2, and Reno's going Lele. Chris is going South Fort Myers, and I'll tell you right now, I'm going South Fort Myers. I think South Fort Myers has just showed up this year, and they would be district champs if it weren't for that for probably a controversial call in that game against Port Charlotte a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. South Fort Myers all the way.
Absolutely here. All right, that is the pick 6 for week number 11. Hard to believe it's saying pick 6 week 11. I mean, we'll probably have some picks next week for the games, depending on what happens with the SSAA. But we'll see. We may take a break from the picks for next week, just because there a lot won't be going on in terms of games that next week. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this up here as we finish up the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz. And Coach, we'll be back, and we're going to have the Space and Treasure Coast Blitz. The rest of our shows, we're not going to have an interview. We're just going to have discussion, because there's a lot to discuss, especially that we may have not gotten to on the Drive the State that we can really get to on these shows here, just really, and bring the chat into it as well, because again, there's a lot. We'll take your questions as well, because again, there's a lot to answer here, but we'll be back here in just a few minutes here on the FortHSFootball.com Blitz shows here with the Space and Treasure Coast Blitz coming up next at 8:15.